special guests with me. Introduce yourselves, y'all, right?
I'm Infinite Jungle King, aka Tori on Discord. It's all my introduction.
And I'm Professor Kirai, the king of Sonic. The king of Miyagi's mother. And the king of body niggas in debates.
And what is up, everyone? Corn O'Keefe back yet again. Thanks for having me on the channel yet again. Instinct. Happy to do this with you.
Oh, no problem with you guys. And today we got a very special treat for y'all. And it's gonna be a debunk on Animation Rewind. Or you wanna call it Rewind Rumble on Archie Sonic versus Xeno Goku, or Xeno Goku if you want to pronounce either way. And as for the research on both of them, well, for Xeno Goku, they got his AP right at least 5 deep. Okay with, but like, you can scale him hard, but Archie Sonic, it's pretty bad.
They wank him.
Since, like, as Animation Rewind said that Yummy Girl was threatening to, like, or was going to destroy, like, the Dragon Ball history. Which is like an infinite multiverse. Which should be at least infinite 4D. You can argue 5D if you want to go by the extra dimensional stuff. looks like Demigor is already infinite 4D. And like for extra dimensional, it could be like if you're 3D, you could be 4D, but as for this case, since he's infinite 4D, he should be 5D.
everything I've got. If we lose, this whole universe is going to be torn to bits.
But there's something called Dragon Ball Heroes, and he transcended into like the real world, so he should be at least 5 to maybe 6D by default. If you want to go by the extra dimensional stuff.
And to touch up a little more on that, the whole real world thing, that's really intention. Actually, there's a lot of different ways to actually kind of go about it and argue it. Because here's the thing, a lot of people actually do argue that the time nest and the time nest itself is a 5D structure. they basically argue, what they argue is, and there's evidence for it, is the entire Dragon Ball video games, right, the multiverse, is altogether 5D. And the real world would be viewing that as fiction, as it's shown and basically implied, obviously.
別の宇宙か、遥か未来か過去か、あるいは俺が抱え込んだ底なしの怒りそのものかもしれん。俺の強さは俺の理解すら超えて未踏の高みへと至りつつある。
So that's why the 6D would come in. So, and he didn't really even touch up on any of that, really. Like, his scale, the dude who gave him the scaling was somewhat vague about it, the way they went about it. And
Yeah.
they more or less didn't really justify fifth dimensional like they. Like, you have Toa and Mira, you know, they're actually shown and stated to exist beyond the flow of space and time as well. As you said, Demigra transcends space and time. He's stated to be extra dimensional. There's infinite timelines, possibilities. And there's these fifth, possibly sixth dimensional structures. And yeah, now for the whole immeasurable speed thing, right? I think you have a problem with that because he had them in like baseline and measurable. Now I think you'd like to touch up on that.
Yeah. Demigra should scale to the Time Patrol, who is at least able to like travel through timelines of his raw speed. And that's already in Xenoverse 1.
Yeah, keep in mind, Phase Goku scales to that, let alone any higher form. So to say he's only baseline and measurable, imply he's only baseline and measurable is pretty ridiculous. Stack all his other forms, and he gets stronger as well as faster throughout all the games. So you can easily, using the official multipliers, you can easily get him thousands of times above baseline and measurable.
Yeah. And the most.
And as for hacks, he kind of chimed over. He kind of ignored a lot of hacks. Like, he brought some stuff up, but he didn't really. He kind of just brushed them off. Like, what would you say about that?
Yeah, I would agree that they didn't bring up like any of his hacks at all.
Yeah.
Well, basically, all right. He does have immortality type 4 because in his scan it says he can resurrect himself and someone else as well. So resurrection hacks and type 4 immortality at least.
Yeah, he didn't really extrapolate that much on like his probability manipulation. That's where we kind of get into like the whole Archie thing here. It kind of played off like, oh, Archie's just so much above him because he's quote unquote outer versal. So I guess he just kind of figured nothing Xeno Goku had worked, which is true if Archie Sonic was actually outer versal, which the justification he gave, it definitely does not imply that at all. We're going to get into that really soon. Unless you have anything else you want to add on about Xeno Goku and the scaling.
Well, I'll vote at scaling it, and I will make a future video on Xeno Goku and how strong he is, and that will be in the future. Well, that's it for my point. Now let's talk about the Sonic point of things.
All right, so Hyper, you want to start off with that?
Okay, so starting off with the whole Archie Sonic stuff. Okay, so for the claim that he made of like Sonic being out of Versal just because he was an author. Now this is very wrong for so many reasons, and really you did not go into much detail about how Sonic is out of Versal. All because you write a story or rewrite a story doesn't make you out of Versal. There has to be more context to it. And then also there's also something with the writer to where inside a legal battle to where he doesn't even have the right to even say that Sonic does not lose. So basically all of that with Sonic basically rewriting the story basically never happened. Because the writer not having any rights to Sonic anymore. So now it's actually another writer or Sega that actually has the approval. And since they did not approve it, that does not make Archie Sonic out of Versal. Another thing too is with the whole, you did not even go into much detail about like Archie Sonic's abilities, like nowhere near at all. You didn't talk about none of the feats. You didn't talk about how in like base form he of how he was getting mollywopped by Super Scourge, but still never went into detail about how in Super Scourge and his form of how he was literally hurting Sonic and Sonic was alright. So like there was like not that much detail going into Sonic. A lot of Sonic went of AR and Punch Bro himself of with this outer Versal statement it's just really fallacious. And I'm gonna let Infinite or Korn and say their part about it.
Yeah, I'll let Infinite go, and I'd like to touch up on a couple things after. But Infinite, go ahead.
So basically, like all of the outer Versal thing, for one, from what the scan he showed us, there has to be more context other than he's the author. I was like, if that's the issue, that'll be more explained, like why like the issues of context on Archie is on canon. But that's the issue right there.
Yeah, and I'll touch up a little more on both sides. So with the whole author thing, yeah, and like rewriting your story, that does not inherently grant you outer Versal power at all, and that's just really a big, bold claim to make, and it would require more evidence to say so. Because the more extraordinary the claim, the more extraordinary evidence you need. The bigger the claim, more evidence you need. That's just that. That's logic. And
yep. Preponderance.
Yeah, and like One Punch Bros, I kind of have a feeling where he's getting some of this ideas at for like, because he's heard me talk about like Marvel. He's heard my research on like Marvel and how like, Toa, the one above all, embodies every reader, and I have him like place it outer Versal. However, I go into detail as to why that is and explain that, yeah, these writers and Toa are created creating actual out-of-versal constructs and entities and ideas, and they also, and like, it can send other characters who are on that level that they themselves created. I'm not gonna go, this is not about the world of all, but that's just the gist of it. Like, it depends on the verse and who's, you know, how big the cosmology is of the verse that these writers, quote unquote, are creating with their power. So him writing, you know, the Archie Sonic verse, multiverse, that's like 5 to 6D at best, dude. What the justifications you've shown in that video, just simply being beyond your continuity does not inherently grant you out-of-versal, as you're only beyond what you yourself put into continuity. Why someone like the One Above All, when I say he is like, oh, he's every author, writer, and editor, and so that makes him outer versal, if not high outer. Well, I substantiate that with actual evidence. And stuff like that, and I actually go into detail as to what I mean, not just about simply being the author of something. That does not at all rank that level. And I would like to debate. Even heck, we can just have a discussion with One Punch. I'd love to have a discussion with him on this research and his reasoning on it. And you know, like the best stuff he put in that video is like, again, multiversal plus 5D to 6D. That's literally the best justification they gave. There's no, what he did for outer-versal, that does not at all justify that rating whatsoever. And there's another thing too, his little like fate manipulation thing. Sure, yeah, Archie Sonic does have that, but you were very vague. You just kind of glossed over it and said, oh, his fate manip and him being above baseline outer versal. But like, the post-analysis itself really didn't have a lot of explanation behind it.